Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Jinger. We haven't really talked about the Duggars that much lately, but Jinger wrote a book and she has been out promoting it. She recently did an interview with E! News. The title of the book is called Becoming Free Indeed. This book is a lot different than the book that she co-wrote with her sisters back in 2014. That book is called Growing Up Duggar. And in her interview with E! News, she actually talks about how she hopes fans do not read the book that she wrote in 2014, or if they do read it, they will go ahead and read this book, because according to her, the beliefs that she held back in 2014, she does not hold on to those beliefs anymore, and she describes it as growing up in the system, believing the teachings of Bill Gothard. She does not agree with those anymore. Let's go ahead, let's get into it, you guys. So in this interview, she said, in that book, I shared a lot of principles that I had been raised on through the IBLP founder, Bill Gothard's teachings. And I encouraged young girls to do courtships, to have certain modesty guidelines, listen to certain kinds of musics. And now I look at that and I say, I promoted that? Jinger explained that at the time she and her sisters wrote that book, they were under the impression that the standards they were promoting in Growing Up Duggar would help the readers become successful. She said, my younger self would have looked at the book's teachings and said, oh, that's great. But now I look at it and I'm like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have said that. In the interview, she says, I wish I could go back to those girls who bought my book and be like, don't read it. That's really interesting. And I do wonder, out of the other girls that co-wrote the book with her, if they feel the same way. I mean, I think it's fair to say that at least a couple of them do. I'm sure Jill, Jessa, now Jana, maybe not, but Jill and Jessa would probably say the same thing. I don't know if once you put a book out there, if there's any way to keep that book from being sold. More than likely not. But it's interesting, 2014, they held so strongly onto these beliefs, these teachings of Bill Gothard. But now years later, they come out to say, we're kind of disgusted that we held on to those beliefs. They promoted those beliefs. She talks about that in the interview. I will link the interview in the description box below. Now, if you haven't read Growing Up Duggar, it's basically the four oldest Duggar girls from their early 20s and their late teens at the time, talking about the blessings and advantages of living in the Duggar lifestyle, which include being obedient to your parents, avoiding pants, and never being alone with a boy unless you are ready to get married and have babies. In the interview, Jinger also gave an update on her relationship with her sisters. She noted that some of her family members are still in the system. They believe the teachings of Bill Gothard. She acknowledged, though, that a lot of the sisters have walked away from it, or a lot of her family members have walked away from it. We know that Jill no longer follows the IBLP teachings, but Jinger did not specify which family members are still part of the Bill Gothard teachings. Now, over the years, tabloids have talked about Jinger getting into it and having feuds with some of her sisters. But now she says she has a really good relationship with all of her older sisters. She does say that. She says, I think all of my older sisters I'm so close with, and my younger sister, Joy, we've always had such a tight bond between the sisters, and I keep in contact with all of them. It's just so easy now with FaceTime. Even though I'm so far away, we still have very close relationships. That's really good to hear, that despite the differences that they may have, because she even includes Jana in that. And Jana is definitely one that I think is still strongly a member of the IBLP. She still lives with her parents, or maybe not in the house with her parents, but she lives out back in a trailer. So it's good to hear that she has a close relationship. Now, while in this interview, she didn't talk about her brother Josh, in other interviews she has. And she says she hasn't spoken to her brother Josh in over 2 years. In this interview, she does say that she hopes that her family members will read this book. Jinger has also said that she and her parents, who are still diehard Bill Gothard followers, have just decided that when they do talk about things and they do meet up, if certain things come up, they will agree to disagree. So they can have a functioning relationship. She still has a relationship with her family members that are still a part of the IBLP, but they do have this agreement, basically, that when discussions come up, they can agree to disagree, which I think is probably the healthiest thing you can do. I have family members that may not believe the same as I do, and that's really the best thing that you can do. Respect that they have the opinions that they have, and then respect that I have the opinions that I have, and just agree to disagree and move on with it. But still, love each other, come together when you want to be able to see each other and have a good relationship. So that is good to hear. I wonder if any of her siblings are going to be reading her book. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Have you read the book? If so, what were your thoughts? Do you guys think that any of her family members will be reading the book. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, I think it's so wild to see how far she's come, how far her sisters have come. I don't know, I just kind of feel like writing a book at such a young age, even in your early 20s, maybe isn't the best decision, especially if you were still so like ingrained with your family, because a lot of times when you leave the nest, your beliefs change. You know, I've seen that time and time and time again. Children raised this way, but then they grow up, move out, and their beliefs just become totally different. So writing a book at such an early age, I don't know if it's the best idea. And I think Jinger is one person that could definitely vouch for that. I mean, she's even like, I don't even want people to read that book because my thoughts and my beliefs were so different from who I am today. Now, I do have to say, I kind of agree with, I like the idea of courting. I also like the idea of, you know, not being alone with a boy because you could be tempted to have sex. And I mean, this day and age, we have so many girls getting pregnant at such a young age. So I remember growing up watching the Duggars thinking, oh my God, this is like such a great family to follow because I agree with a lot of their things. However, let me just put it out there. I do not know the depth of their teachings. So just on the, just I guess kind of at face value of what we could see, I was like, oh, courting is cute. I like it. You know, having someone tag along with you when you go on dates to make sure you're not alone with your boyfriend and you're not tempted to, you know, take things to a level where you could end up getting pregnant at a young age. I agree with those things. But yeah, I didn't know all about these teachings. And since learning about them, I'm really disgusted. And I did a video where we went over a lot of Bill Gothard's teachings and they are utterly disgusting. You guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you give this video a huge thumbs up. Are you going to be reading Jinger's book? Let me know in the comment section below. If you are not subscribed to the channel yet, I would love to have you here. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave me your thoughts and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.